The C-SPAN networks bring you long-form public affairs programming from the nation's capital and are a public service of your television provider. C-SPAN, created by cable.
What does Bernie Sanders' success on the campaign trail, and particularly his appeal to young people, have to say about the future direction of your party for someone like you who has a centrist reputation and is a capitalist, frankly?
Well, a couple things. I think Bernie is tapping into a lot of dissatisfaction. I absolutely believe that the best policy is not made on the extremes of the left or the right, but it's actually made with some bipartisan consensus. The challenge with that premise is we've not put a lot of points on the board in terms of that bipartisan consensus in the last few years. I also think what Bernie has tapped into is enormous uncertainty about economic inequality. I would argue that almost equal to the challenges around income inequality are challenges around income insecurity. I think Americans haven't minded folks being successful, but when they feel in their personal lives the kind of income volatility that they're seeing at this moment in time, folks got a right to be angry. I am somebody that believes in our free enterprise system, but let me say, I don't think modern American capitalism, with its focus on short-term, quarterly-based returns, is doing well enough by the vast majority of Americans. I'm working on a project actually through the Aspen Institute that's looking at this issue. Actually, Mitch Daniels, the former Indiana governor, who's now President Perdue, is my co-chair. How do you make capitalism work in a 21st century way, in a broader way? How do you incent longer-term investments? How do you look at the whole definition of fiduciary duty so that a company can look not just at its short-term shareholder returns, but its returns to its employees and community? How can you actually have a tax code that incents investment in human capital in terms of pay and training? I think we are going to need to make, in effect, capitalism work in the 21st century for a broader group of people, or the anger that Bernie's tapping into on the left and to agree that Mr. Trump is tapping into on the right could really undermine a system that's worked pretty well for us.